Hey, what's up, Red Sox Nation? Welcome back to the channel. And today we've got some urgent and unexpected developments coming out of Boston that honestly, not many fans saw coming. Because right now, the Red Sox are facing a very real and very complicated decision involving two key names on this roster, Wilyer Abreu and Masataka Yoshida, and the situation is starting to heat up as we get closer to opening day in 2026. This isn't just random speculation anymore. This is based on actual roster pressure, real insider discussion, and a situation that has quietly been building behind the scenes for weeks. And if you've been following spring training and the World Baseball Classic, you already know that both of these players have been part of the conversation in very different ways. But now those paths are starting to collide in a way that could force Boston into making a move. Let's start with the big picture, because this is where everything begins. The Red Sox right now have what many insiders are calling a luxury problem, and that is an overloaded outfield and designated hitter situation. You've got multiple capable bats competing for limited spots, and that includes names like Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, Cedin Rafaela, rising prospects, and then Masataka Yoshida, who, despite being one of the most talented hitters on the roster, is suddenly finding himself in a very uncertain role. Reports this week have clearly pointed out that Yoshida is essentially on the outside looking in when it comes to regular playing time, not because of performance, but because of how crowded this roster has become. And that right there is where things start to get serious, because when a player of Yoshida's caliber is fighting for at-bats, it tells you just how deep and how complicated this roster really is. Now here's where the situation takes a surprising turn. While Yoshida has been dealing with role uncertainty in Boston, he has also been performing at a high level internationally, especially during the 2026 World Baseball Classic, where he showed strong offensive production and looked fully healthy again. That's important, because one of the concerns around Yoshida over the past year has been his health, especially after shoulder issues in 2025. But now, with reports confirming that he's healthy and producing again, his value both to the Red Sox and to other teams is starting to rise again. And this is exactly why trade speculation has started to reappear, with recent reports suggesting that Boston could even consider moving Yoshida before opening day to address other needs, particularly in pitching. At the same time, you have Wilyer Abreu, who is in a completely different position but part of the same problem. Abreu has been a valuable contributor, showing power, defense, and consistency, even putting up strong numbers in recent seasons and gaining attention across the league. But here's the catch: because of Boston's outfield depth, Abreu is now being viewed by other teams as a potential trade target, especially by clubs looking for a cost-effective and productive outfielder. Recent reports have linked teams like the Phillies to Abreu, seeing him as a possible solution for their own roster needs. And when multiple teams start calling about one of your players, that's when the front office has to start listening, even if they weren't planning to move him initially. So now you've got two different players, two different situations, but one shared issue: roster pressure. And this is where the Red Sox front office has to make a decision. Because realistically, they cannot keep everyone happy, they cannot give everyone consistent playing time, and they cannot ignore the opportunity to improve the roster if the right deal comes along. And according to multiple insiders, this is exactly the kind of situation that often leads to a trade, not because a team wants to lose talent, but because they need to balance the roster in a way that maximizes overall performance. And here's what makes this even more interesting: the Red Sox are not rebuilding. This is not a team that is looking to sell off pieces and plan for the future. This is a team that is trying to compete right now in 2026. That means every move they make has to be about improving their chances to win, especially in a competitive American league. So if they decide to move someone like Yoshida or Abreu, it's not going to be for prospects or long-term assets. It's going to be for immediate impact, whether that's pitching depth, bullpen help, or a key positional upgrade. But let's talk about the emotional side for a second, because this is where fans come in. Moves like this are never easy, especially when you're talking about players who have contributed to the team. Yoshida, for example, has been a consistent hitter when healthy, and moving him would definitely raise questions, especially given his contract and expectations. At the same time, trading a younger player like Abreu, who still has upside and team control, could feel like giving up on a potential long-term piece. So no matter what decision Boston makes, there's going to be reaction, there's going to be debate, and there's definitely going to be pressure on the front office to get it right. And let's not forget timing is everything here. We are right on the edge of the season. Opening day is approaching fast, and decisions like this don't have the luxury of time. The Red Sox have to evaluate everything: performance, health, roster balance, trade offers, and come to a conclusion very soon. That's why this situation feels urgent, because it is. This isn't something that can be pushed to later in the season. This is happening now. So here's where things stand. Masataka Yoshida is healthy, performing, but potentially without a clear everyday role. Wilyer Abreu is productive, valuable, but drawing serious interest from other teams. And the Red Sox are stuck in the middle, trying to figure out how to turn their depth into something that actually makes the team better overall. That's the decision. That's the pressure. And that's why this story has suddenly become one of the biggest talking points around this team. Now I want to hear from you. If you're running this team, what do you do? Do you trade Yoshida and clear up space while getting something back? Do you move Abreu while his value is high? Or do you keep both and try to make it work? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one of those decisions that could define the Red Sox season. And if you want more breaking news, trade updates, and deep Red Sox analysis just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay locked in, because the moment something becomes official, you already know we're covering it right here. Stay tuned because this situation is far from over.